It's Ultimate Fighter review time. Okay. First thing we really cover is the teams were picked. The first picks were respectively for Team Ortiz, Nick Ring. Good pick. Not my pick to win. Liddell got that, and Kyle Noak. Let me see if I can paint out the rest of the teams. The rest of Team Ortiz is Jamie Yeager, Chris McRae, James Hammertree, Nick Ring, who's mentioned, Chris Camozzi, Kaisi Escola, and Clayton McKinney. Team Team Liddell is Kyle Noak, Brad Tavares, Court McGee, Joseph Henley, Rick Antonito, Josh Bryant, and Charles Blanchard. Um, I think Tito's team's a little bit better, but I think this is the big controversy is that Dana and Tito really crapped on or Liddell's team, even though I think Noak is the best fighter this season. I think he's also got some very solid fighters in Rich Antonito and Josh Bryant and Charles Blanchard and Court McGee. I think he got Joseph Henley, who I think is up there on the weakest fighters. I think they were going on about how um, Tito got all these guys who finished people in the first round. Yeah, but Chris McRae did it by injury. James Hammertree did it by Norman Parisier being a bitch, basically. Um, and a lot of other guys just didn't really beat anyone. You know what I mean? I think that was something that Tito and Dana really overlooked is that they didn't look at who these fighters were coming into the show, and they didn't look at who they fought, and who they looked impressive against. In the house, it's pranks from Chris McRae, Brad Tavares, and Jamie Yeager involving air horns. I can tell I'm really not going to like Jamie Yeager, I don't think, and I don't think I'm going to like Chris McRae. Tavares, maybe. I think I could like him. We'll see. I could be wrong on all three. Um, but yes, Clayton McKinney definitely has problems with Yeager, as does Rich Ateneo. Um, I believe Yeager is the one who, basically asked people to punch him in the face later on in the season via the previews. We also go to Ortiz's training camp. Chris Camozzi's injured with a broken tooth that has become infected and some cuts. He seems to be soldiering it through it nicely, but that is quite painful, I would imagine. Um, I don't know, maybe anyone's ever had a broken tooth, but that's pretty painful without adding getting hit in the face, getting taken down, and it getting infected. Clayton McKinney has a bad shoulder. We learned that it's just a bruise with some fluid collecting, so it shouldn't be a big deal. Um, Yeager basically being a douchebag at the house some more. There's Tito celebrating his birthday with a chocolate El Pinata with $1 bills in it. It seemed like Jamie Yeager again was really disappointed they were all singles, which I have to say this is maybe you prefer they weren't singles, but there is no way that was a required thing for Tito to do. Um, so personally, I just take what you got. Um, First fight, Clayton McKinney, Kyle Noak. I was thinking Kyle Noak's going to win this fight, and I think the most underlooked thing I believe is that they seem to think Kyle Noak is just a wrestler with a ground and pound, when he's really a very well-rounded fighter, and I actually think of him as more of a striker. Um, and I don't know. Dana sometimes surprises me how little he knows about the fighters that he, in theory, had some part in selecting for the show. Anyways, Tito's really on Clayton because he's kind of dogging and training a little bit with the bad shoulder, which is understandable in a way, but I do like that Tito is on him because I think you do have to push a guy who's injured to make sure that he keeps up. Otherwise, he's not going to be ready for the fight. I don't really think he was. There was a lot of feeling on the feet, very little things happening. Kyle Noak finally committed to something. Clayton did actually a very good job at getting his back and trying to suplex him. Kyle drops for a knee bar, doesn't get it. Eventually gets back to guard, locks on a triangle, turns it to a mount for a brief moment. Clayton turns it back, but taps out. So Kyle Noak advances. This is the part I don't really like from Tito is he kind of, begs Clayton to basically get out of a triangle twice, like shows him an escape and has him do it twice, which you do have to learn from your mistakes. Like that's wholeheartedly an agreement. But right after you lost the fight, right after your dream's been crushed, and he tried to bring up the wild card thing, but after that performance, Clayton's not going to be in the wild card fight unless there's a lot of one-sided crap kickings this season. It's probably not really the right time to try to make him learn something. You kind of got to clear your head, relax a little bit, and this is just my opinion. This is what works for me. Maybe this will actually really work for Clayton. I don't know. Maybe it really works for Tito. I don't know. But I don't know. Just my opinion. That was probably a bit much. Preview looks like Jaeger's being a douche again with his own team. And, people might say that, having fun in the house and being there for yourself is good. But here's the thing, you make people agitated with you, which can work for you, but it can really work against you. It also makes you seem like a douche and less likable for, promoting yourself, unless you're going to be the bad boy, which I guess he's going to go for, but I don't know. I would try to probably at least try to get along with the people in the house, and particularly your teammates, because no MMA is not a team sport, but your team is a big part of how you perform. And if you're going to alienate your team members like Jamie has, it doesn't look like he's trying. It looks like he's trying to keep the face with Clayton, and Clayton's just not having any of it, but he's brought it upon himself. That's my opinion. This looks like he's being a bit of a dick. Chuck's got control of the fights. Look for him to try to take... now might be a good time to take Jaeger out, because he seems like the type of guy who could potentially learn a lot and become very hard to take out. Not sure who would go with. It looks like Rich Antonito really wants to fight him, and that might be what they do, because I think Rich is one of their upper level fighters, a guy who has kind of matured to a point. He's really on Kaisi's nerves too, because he charged into his room after he was doing the whole air blowing thing. So I don't know. He seems to be the shit disturber of the season. Your Chris Lieben, your Jeremy May, your Nate Diaz to a lesser extent. You're not so much a Gabe Rudiger type, but who knows? Maybe he'll shut my mouth by this working out really, really well for him. But I don't think it will. Anyways, that is all.